You know, I thought I missed baseball season until I had to watch James Paxton pitch like that. How's everybody doing? So, baseball has a lot of interesting phrases. Grand salami, 6-4-3 DP, and of course, rubber game. Today is a rubber game. It is the third game of a series that is tied at one game apiece. The Yankees, of course, won on Thursday night, rain-shortened game behind their new ace, Garrett Cole, 4-1. Had a day off. That's usually what happens. There's a built-in off day after opening day in case there is rain. They didn't end up needing to use it this year. But then last night was absolutely atrocious to the point where I don't really want to talk about it that much, but I will go through. Let's take a look at the box score, and we can talk a little bit about what happened in last night's game, and then I'll get into today's matchup. So there are a few positives that you can take from this very ugly box score. One being that DJ LeMahieu was back in the lineup, did pick up a base hit. He looked okay. They pulled him a bit early. I think they're still trying to get him kind of weaned back into playing. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup today because of the day game after a night game. I'll get into that in a few minutes. Thairo Estrada had a base hit off the bench. So did Mike Ford. So out of the leadoff spot, they were 3 for 5. Aaron Judge, who went into the game red hot, he did hit the ball hard. He hit one down the third baseline that got snagged by the third baseman as Drupal Cabrera. But he was 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Gleyber Torres remains hitless in 2020. He's going to break out today against Patrick Corbin. I would bet the farm on that one. Gleyber had some good swings. He hit the ball hard over the past few days. He hit a hard one-hopper off of Castro. I don't know what the exit velocity was, but it had to be over 110 miles an hour because Castro couldn't handle it. So I think Gleyber's about to break out. The other thing you see, obviously, that stands out is Giancarlo hitting a nice, cool 667 this year. Everything that he hits is just ripped. He hit a double last night, and of course he hit that 483-foot home run, which was a thing of beauty. That was a line drive shot, and he hits it just harder than anybody. So Paxton obviously was terrible last night. Listen, your number 2 starter has got to get out of the second inning. I don't care what time of the season it is. I don't care how many days we were delayed by coronavirus. By the time you take the ball, you've got to be ready to go more than 2 innings. And Paxton was just not good. His fastball velocity was down. His breaking ball was not as sharp. He couldn't put guys away. It seemed like he had 2 strikes on pretty much everybody. But then, guys would foul balls off, and then eventually he would miss a few spots. He walked a few guys. So, not a good start for Paxton. So another one of those phrases you hear, day game after a night game. That's what that weird acronym is there. D-gang. So in general, when you have a day game after a night game, the manager likes to give some of the older guys a day off. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Brett Gardner get the day off in favor of somebody like Mike Tauchman. You might see Aaron Hicks get the day off because he's coming back from that elbow surgery. It's possible, though, that they still put Hicks out there in center field because he is a switch hitter, and Patrick Corbin is really tough on left-handers like Mike Tauchman. So I think Hicks is probably a better percentage option in center field, but we'll see what Aaron Boone decides to do. Clint Frazier will not be an option. He was sent down to the alternate site after last night's game. You may see Miguel Andujar in there in left field and Mike Tauchman in center. That would be just my guess. And then you might see Gary Sanchez get the day off and Kyle Higashioka behind the plate, which with an opener on the mound is not a bad idea because Higgy as the backup catcher has to work well with everybody, so get him reps with every pitcher. So before we get into the lineups, I wanted to talk about the Yankees' upcoming schedule. So obviously they have the Nationals today at 1:05 p.m., and then they play the Phillies in Philadelphia tomorrow, the 27th at 7:05 Eastern, followed by a 6 p.m. game against the Phillies on Tuesday. So take note of that time, 6 p.m. I'll be live with the pregame probably around 5 p.m. And then the Phillies come to New York to open up the stadium at 7:05 on Wednesday, and then they play Friday night against the Phillies before the Red Sox come down on what would usually be the trading deadline, July 31st. I don't even know how trades are going this year. I saw somebody got traded already, some nobody, but I don't think that there's going to be a ton of trades just because of the logistics that have to do with coronavirus and travel restrictions and all that. I just don't see it happening. So in case you missed the shows yesterday, I wanted to give you a quick rundown on how I'm going to be doing these from now on. I'm going to be doing this pregame show and launching it about an hour or two before each game, shortly after the lineups come out, so that way you guys can watch and know what to look for during the game. And then after the game is over, I'll post a post-game show. The post-game show will be more reaction than the highlights and the whiz-bang that you're used to in this show. But anyway, let's get on with the lineups and the starting pitcher. Okay, so we got the lineup, and as I suspected, we have a few guys resting today. DJ LeMahieu is leading off at second base. He has 4 career home runs off of Patrick Corbin. Aaron Judge in right field. Him against the lefty should be fun. Gleyber Torres at shortstop. He's my pick to click. More on that in a minute. Giancarlo Stanton. Can you be more hot than Giancarlo Stanton? He has hit 3 massive home runs in the last 10 days or so. Luke Voit at first base. I think he's going to get going soon. Gio Urshela at third base. Great play over at third base last night on a line drive to snare it out of the air. Kyle Higashioka behind the plate. Don't sleep on Higgy. He has power. And Mike Tauchman, the sock man, in center field, getting his first start of the year. Tauchman had a 3.8 wins above replacement last year in just over half a season. He was a great pickup by Cashman. And my pick to click, Gleyber Torres. That's right, it's Labor Day. Mark it on your calendar. This is guaranteed, folks. Gleyber Torres is going to have a nice game. And on the mound, Jonathan Loaisiga, Johnny Lasagna. He's been up and down with the Yankees for the past couple of years. He has a really good arm, but he has difficulty staying on the field. I think he throws a bit too hard for his body. His fastball can get up to 98 miles an hour, but I think he's only about 5'7", 5'8", about 160 pounds, so a lot of strain on that shoulder. We'll also probably get a dose of Chad Green today out of the bullpen.